What up, y'all? It's Joe Budden, here to talk about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money while watching football. You can get up to 100 times your money.
Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Just download the Prize Picks app and use code SPOTIFY. That's code SPOTIFY on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine. It's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. This is Central Texas Life with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Central Texas Life. It is with great joy. We're going to talk about the Waco Symphony Orchestra and Maestro Lawrence Lowe, and our wonderful executive director, Carolyn Bess. And fabulous season already underway. A wonderful starter concert, Rhapsody in Blue.
Yep. Yeah, it was a great way to start the season. We had Orly Shaham, a wonderful guest artist, playing the Rhapsody in Blue. Orchestra featured on the Copland Third Symphony, Fanfare for the Common Man at the end of that symphony. It was just a glorious way to start the season.
And kind of a fun thing, taking a cue from Baylor Athletics, where everybody's told wear your gold or wear your white or your green. Everybody wore blue.
That's right. That's right.
Carolyn,
it's a blue out.
Yeah, and it kind of the thought to make everything more approachable.
Right.
Yeah, I think
celebratory.
we're always wanting to have fun with the different themes, because this particular concert, that Rhapsody in Blue, with the obvious blue word in it, we thought, how can we make this something that everyone can participate in? And yeah, and that's how that happened.
Yeah, celebrate the 100th anniversary of this iconic piece.
Oh, yes. Well, and take a little of the stuffiness out of going to the symphony.
Yes. Yeah, we don't want it to feel like that at all.
No.
And it should not. It's like an unfortunate stereotype, and we work really hard to combat that.
Well, Larry, it's been about a year that we visited when you were one of the candidates under consideration for this job as music director, conductor of the Waco Symphony. So here you are. First, kind of kick off to the first season. And New Frontiers is the title of this season, which I love this theme because it's a new frontier for the Waco Symphony, right, Carolyn?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So excited about Larry's leadership and his artistic vision and just fresh perspectives and just his immaculate artistry. So I know he'll bring the best out of the orchestra.
Well, and they're looking forward to playing for you. I know that that's true. So the next concert is November 7th at Waco Hall. So let's talk a little bit about this great season, if you would.
Yeah,
Larry.
So when we put the season together, we had so many wonderful artists that we wanted to include, and John Nakamatsu, the pianist for this concert on November 7th, he was one of the first people that we called, because not only is he a pianist that I love to collaborate with and such a wonderful artist, but he's also one of the jury members for the next Clyburn competition in Fort Worth. Yeah. And so we thought, why not take him and have him play a Rachmaninoff symphony during the busiest time of the year for him?
Of course.
And and also
no ill for a climber, right?
Why not play the second Rachmaninoff, because it's one of the most famous of his concertos. The audience will love it. The second half is Beethoven's Eroica Symphony, and we have a young composer, Quinn Mason, who wrote an opening overture that I'll be able to conduct for the first time.
Really? So that's got to be kind of exciting for you as a conductor when you come upon something that's kind of new.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the things that I love to do is discover new music, discover living composers, meet them, get to talk to them. I mean, we can't do that with Rachmaninoff and Beethoven.
No.
But Quinn Mason is a young composer. He's Dallas-based. I've probably conducted his music maybe 6-7 times now. This will be my first time conducting Inspiration, this festive overture that he wrote rather recently. It is a new piece to me, and I can't wait to do it at this program. We love to have a lot of contrast in our programs, and I think one of the things that we'll get from his piece is a real sense of immediate optimism, because the Rachmaninoff that follows begins kind of darkly, I think, in the range of emotion that one can hear in music. It has this dark opening. And so if we had kind of a gloomy overture, I think that would be a little too much for the audience.
A little too much gloom.
And then the second half, the Beethoven Eroica,
Oh, yeah.
it's absolutely uplifting.
Sure.
It's one of his great, of his 9 symphonies, one of the most popular of these all 9 great symphonies. And we thought that would be a wonderful way for us to begin what I'm sure will be a Beethoven cycle with this orchestra over the next several years. Why not start with the third, which is personally one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I know you're kind of wrangling that.
Yeah. My microphone
keeps
keeps
You're
syncing.
no stranger to microphones.
Yeah. It's just it's a heavy, high quality microphone that I just have to keep.
That's right. It just keeps syncing on you. But before this November 7th concert, we're going to have something fun at Deck the Halls, right, Carolyn? Because the Nutcracker is, and it's something. Second year now to do 2 performances of Nutcracker.
Yes.
And so we're plowing on ahead with that, right?
We are. This is our 5th collaboration with Ballet Frontier of Texas, a professional dance company based in Fort Worth. They're great partners, and so excited about presenting 2 performances again, Saturday night at 7, December 14th, and Sunday afternoon, December 15th. But leading up to that, the big, as everyone is starting to think about the holidays, we have a fundraiser that's a Nutcracker market that helps support the orchestra and our mission. And so we are taking our Nutcracker market to the Junior League, Deck the Halls market.
Perfect place.
November 1st to 3rd at the Extrica Base Center. And so...
Well, I've got my collection of Nutcrackers that I have started.
We have one just for you.
You have one just, is it the Gardner?
It's a new one you've never seen.
Oh, no, it's a new one?
A pickleball Nutcracker.
Okay, all right.
There you go.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
But yeah, of course, the Nutcracker, what a iconic Christmas event, you know, for people want to take their kids and their grandkids to go see this ballet. And you're busy in December because for 12 years, 13 years?
I think it's been 12 years down in up in Dallas doing the holiday run of usually about 16 concerts.
That's amazing.
A variety of programs, most of which are a general holiday concert that has vocalists and chorus and organ, the full orchestra, Santa, all kinds of fun surprises, sing-alongs. So, if people are interested, they can head up to Dallas, check out the Christmas Pops. I'm also conducting several performances of Elf, the movie, with the orchestra performing that music. And
it's all in Dallas.
And a brass and percussion concert as well. So it's a lot of fun. But I'll be thinking of everyone here during Nutcracker because it's absolutely one of my favorite pieces. We always like to include music from Nutcracker in these programs that I do in Dallas because it's, as you said, it's this iconic, beautiful Christmas music. It's one of the most, I mean, personally, because I grew up with a sister who was a ballerina, we would see Nutcracker every year. And going,
you knew it very well.
Yeah, I knew it really well. Yeah. I always looked forward to it, seeing the Christmas tree grow, all those kinds of iconic scenes, and the music itself having just such strong associations to the season. I think it is one of the great opportunities that we have here in Waco to hear Nutcracker performed by a live orchestra, which is not always the case.
That's true.
It's the
with
only one
a
in our
professional,
Right.
one
And
in
I
our
know
area.
Ballet Frontier,
You know,
many of
within
those
about
dancers
90
were saying normally
right.
they don't get to perform
They're
with live
dancers.
musicians.
It's a really unique experience
Yeah,
for
it's
those
great for them as
dancers.
well.
Yeah, because they're literally, it's like a duet between the orchestra and the dancers on the stage. And there's a give and take that can happen as they're both paying attention to each other. That makes it such an artistic experience. Whereas if you have a pre-recorded, completely already recorded orchestra part, then the dancers have to just simply dance to that rather than have any amount of flexibility that they might be able to have with a live orchestra.
Well, and you can't be two places at once. And so as a result, the wonderful Dr. Bo Benson will be conducting our Nutcrackers.
Right. And we had, from auditions, we had a record-breaking number of local student dancers.
I went to that one time, that audition
so
process.
Fun. So there are going to be 78 local student dancers between the ages of 7 and 11 in the production this year.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
party children, angels, Chinese dancers.
the Chinese
So
dancers.
exciting.
That's just such a great memory for those kids, whether or not they go on and become dancers as adults or not, but it's just a great experience for them to remember dancing the Nutcracker with Waco Symphony in Waco. Well, then we're at January 21st into the new year, and violin superstar Ray Chen.
Yeah, so Ray Chen, he's one of these incredible violinists. You know, he performs at the highest level. Won the Queen Elizabeth competition, which is just he's a once in a generation kind of talent, just artistically. And then on top of it all, he has an incredible knack for social media. That's good. Has whipped up an incredible number of followers, like 1 million on Instagram or something like that.
Wow.
And he so he has all these creative videos that he makes with using his violin, playing with orchestras, making some funny things where he's, acting out some scenario with musicians or guest artists that are with him at the time. And he makes these really, really engaging videos. And, we were talking a little earlier about making it not so stuffy. He's as far from that as you could possibly get. He is absolutely relatable. He is so popular. I think recently he recorded a concert where he was playing a recital wearing an Apple Vision Pro so that they could see his perspective.
Cool. Oh, my goodness.
Seeing the audience playing his instrument in a performance, how the instrument sounds from his perspective. I think that's just
that's fascinating.
Incredibly, smart and there's so many other things that he's done. He shows up in a subway and starts playing and just sees if people notice. I just love that we got to have Ray Chen as our soloist for this January concert. He's playing the Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto, one of the most requested violin concertos in the repertoire because it's just so perfectly written for the violin. It's very familiar and one of the most famous. And violinists have so much repertoire, and to have something that is the most popular among that repertoire means that it's very special. So that's this Tchaikovsky. We have Prokofiev's Fifth Symphony on the second half. It's a massive symphony, kind of similar in scale to the Copland that we opened our season with. But we're opening the concert with a piece by Missy Mazzoli called Symphonia for Orbiting Spheres. And what's kind of fun about this is it uses a normal orchestra in terms of the instruments that it calls for, but it does ask for several of the musicians in the orchestra to play harmonica. So they're going to be putting down their no. Although there are symphonies with banjos, but not this year. But in this, like the bassoon will be playing their bassoon, then they'll put down their bassoon,
how funny.
pick up a harmonica, play this kind of.
I want to see Ann do that.
It's like I think that you have to if you have a harmonica, you might have one. I mean, up in the attic or something.
Yeah.
These professional musicians will be performing parts of this music with harmonica. And then at the very end of the piece, there's a pre-recorded loop of violin music that's recorded in a very specific way that will be then played not through the PA, not through the big monitors, but through a boom box that someone in the percussion will lift above their head like John Cusack and say anything. and they will play the boombox at the end of this concert, and so the orchestra will actually have to duet in a way. You know, they're playing along with a boombox. So that'll be very very fun.
Oh my gosh! Well, yeah, that's going to be worth the price of admission. Just the harmonicas part. April 3rd is going to round out the subscription season. From Yellowstone to the Mountaintop with clarinetist Anthony McGill. This is April 3rd.
Yes. So Anthony McGill is, I know his brothers. So the McGill brothers are Damare and Anthony. Damare is the principal flute of Seattle Symphony. I've worked with him there. I've also worked with him when he was principal flute of Dallas and of Pittsburgh. He's kind of moved around a lot. He's a phenomenal major flute, orchestral, and soloist player. And his brother, Anthony, is a legendary principal clarinet. He's the principal clarinet of the New York Philharmonic, and he was the principal clarinet of the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra before that. And so it's just, wow, this family having these two siblings that are just so successful at the highest level. And Anthony McGill is a very, very in-demand soloist as well. So we have him coming to perform a work by Richard Danielpour. I know Richard from working with him in Pittsburgh, where he was one of our composers of the year, and we got to work with him several times that year. He's a really wonderful composer, writes music that is instantly understandable by people. It's so moving. He wrote a concerto for a clarinet called From the Mountaintop, which was inspired by Martin Luther King Jr. And the orchestra will also perform music by Saint-Saëns, the Organ Symphony. Bradley Hunter Welch will be the organ soloist for that. Bradley is a graduate of Baylor. He and I also went to Yale together, so I've known him for years. I introduced him to his wife. Now, so that's my hugest claim to fame.
That's a big claim to fame.
My wife and I did that. So it's great to have Bradley come back to Waco to perform with Waco Symphony as a Baylor grad, and on the same program we have music from Yellowstone as well. So if you're a fan of that show, the main theme will be performed at this concert. We thought it kind of goes with the theme. Not only the theme of this particular program, because it musically sort of matches the pastoral nature of the imagery of a mountaintop, or if you're a fan of the movie Babe, with the pig and Balju pig, all that stuff. But that the music from Saint-Saëns Third is featured in Babe. So for there's a whole I think group of people who associate this music with that movie. So it's all kind of wrapped together, and so we thought Yellowstone, we're going to just throw that in as well.
Why not? Well, it's just going to be a tremendous season. But wait, there's more.
Yes.
And it is the first time the Waco Symphony Orchestra will be performing the music to a movie.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a film live in concert, which I do a lot of these. I love doing these because you get a totally new audience.
I know.
You get all the fans of the orchestra. They're all going to come. But you also get fans of the movie, and you get people who are just curious about what's that going to be like.
What is that going to be like?
And so what it's going to be like is that we're performing, which is funny to say, we're performing the movie Jurassic Park. So it's the original film. It's the 31st anniversary of this film, which is crazy.
That's hard to
believe.
Like
it just came out yesterday, but it's because they keep making sequels.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But John Williams wrote this score. I think it's 1993, and what we get to do is, if you come to this concert, the film is up on a giant screen above the orchestra. There are these big speakers. You have all the dialogue and the sound effects and the roaring and the stomping, the brachiosaurus blowing water out of their blowhole at the top of their head. All that stuff will come through the speakers, but the soundtrack by John Williams is performed by the orchestra live to it, and I just keep them with the movie. And so
there's a talent to that. I mean,
you've
done a lot of them, as you say, to the extent that you have credentials behind your letters that go behind your name, meaning that you have the skills and the chops to do this.
Yeah,
kind of
it's
thing.
kind of a.
It's like, don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah, it is. It's a little. The thing about, if I'm going to conduct Beethoven's Third Symphony, I'll get up there and there's no film. And we just perform it, and there might be a moment where I spontaneously feel like stretching something out in a different way. Yeah. I don't have that luxury if it has to match exactly to what is happening on the screen, because John Williams' score is very specific. This is the music that is under this moment, and then this shocking music happens exactly at the moment that it's happening on the screen.
Yeah, right.
So there's a lot of there's some jump scares. There are jump scares, and a lot of them happen with the music. Yeah. So they have to be perfectly in sync. So I think of it almost like I'm using my skills as a conductor, and also my skills of growing up playing video games. So I have that kind of that reflex as well, and I get to put it all together for this.
Yeah. Well, I was able to hear you talk about some of this the other day at a Waco Symphony Council event. I think you were saying your daughter had not seen this movie before until she saw it with orchestra.
She saw it with orchestra. That's how she feels like you're supposed to see this movie.
Yeah, but you said music has such a way of evoking emotions, obviously, and people think about movies when they hear the movie music and how important that score is to a film. But normally it's a little bit more in the background. But in this performance, it'll be more in the foreground.
Exactly right. So it's a performance. So sometimes John Williams is he'll talk about these movies in the podcast Smartless. He was talking to them about how he loves that these that he gets to write this music for these films, but he doesn't like that they sometimes turn down the music so far in the mix. And in this case,
and he has no control over that.
Right, he doesn't have control about that over that. That's that happens in the sound editor, and but in this case, we are performing this music, so. You're always going to be able to hear what's happening, but the music is, as you said, it's such an emotional part of the film. Steven Spielberg has often said that he sees his own movies through the ears of John Williams, who wrote a lot of those scores, so it's like he himself creating the film has an emotional attachment to the music that you can't separate, and I think that's that's a way that a lot of people encounter orchestral music for the first time is seeing a film, seeing a Star Wars movie, and hearing that score,
Superman,
whatever the score is, and a lot of times using a full orchestra, having all these emotions that you attach to the film through the music, and even if you just hear the music without the film. You can imagine those emotions, and conversely, if you see the movie without the music, it sometimes feels like it doesn't have the emotion.
Yeah, absolutely not. That would be horrible.
Yeah,
that would be awful.
I'm 100%
of course,
in agreement.
the Jurassic Park in concert and Nutcracker, they're not in season ticket.
Right.
Groups. So they're
outside.
individual.
They're special tickets outside the
and I could see some great, Christmas gifts, maybe wrap up a Jurassic Park family pack.
You
will
be
gift.
A hero. If you people will be, because if you think about it, like, do you need another pair of socks? No. But do you want to have an experience that you can talk about, and when you go to it, it will be unparalleled.
It's truly a memorable, family experience together.
Well,
and we hope
I believe it will sell out. I mean, I just think of the uniqueness of it, and it's going to be something people will look forward to every year, this experience. But that being said, we're one concert into our regular patron, season. Is there going to be like a mini package or something for the rest of the concerts? Or?
Yes, we have a choose your own subscription package where you can choose any 3 concerts of your choice, and receive a nice discount off that. So you can check out more about that at wacosymphony.com.
Okay, that's great. And a new website. I mean, all kinds of new fun
all
stuff.
New
logo.
New logo.
I mean, Carolyn,
the new things
that Symphony
all at once.
Association board is just doing all the good.
They are amazing.
They are amazing.
We have you to thank really for championing, when you were president of the board, for championing welcoming new family audiences and really getting behind the concept of the film live in concert and how welcoming that can be to our community.
I wanted that, but I want you to know the Waco Symphony will not be the first one of these done, because the Children's Symphony is going to have a little cartoon that will be that the Baylor Symphony Orchestra will be doing. So they're going to beat you to the
excellent.
punch.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad.
On doing this kind of thing.
But they don't have the giant screen or the HD
technology.
It's
not going to be quite the same. Not quite the same, but it'll be something new. And
I love that they're doing that, because it's there is a cross-pollination of different mediums of the way that people take in art.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's through a screen, sometimes it's from purely from a sound perspective. And when you can combine them in some visual and sound mix, it's combining these two worlds in such a beautiful way that I'm all for them doing it first. No problem.
Well, and of course, the children's concert series is dear to my heart.
Yeah.
For more than 20 years, I've been able to be their narrator for it, and to get the joy of seeing these kids, some 6,000 4th and 5th graders in Waco area schools come in and for the first time experience live orchestral music, and the way they jump in their chairs, and some will be conducting and some will be sleeping, and so it's a little bit like going to No, you won't. Nobody be sleeping.
Right. I can't. I'm facing the wrong way, so I can't see that happen.
That's right. You may not see all that.
That's okay.
But it's just such a wonderful richness that's added to life in Central Texas, which is the name of this podcast. And I cannot thank you enough, Maestro Larry Lowe, for coming to our fair community. And so how are things going? I know you're still wrapping things up in Syracuse, right?
Wrapping things up in Syracuse. I have one more. I'm in my last season up there. It's a bittersweet finale to the end of it. Will be about 11 years up there. But it's and that's kind of offset by the excitement of the first season here in Waco.
Good.
And looking forward to an amazing future and continued growth and excitement and just being a hub for the whole community as far as the arts are concerned.
Mm-hmm. And Carolyn, your leadership, I just can't say enough about how much we all appreciate you and everything you do for the Waco Symphony Association. And if anybody wants to volunteer, you can volunteer all kinds of ways, right?
Absolutely. The Waco Symphony Council is our volunteer and support raising organization, and we welcome having new volunteers and support all the time. Yeah. There's some fundraisers coming up we'll be telling you more about. But in the meantime, thank you both so much. Thank you for being with us for Central Texas Life, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Central Texas Life with Ann Harder is part of the Rogue Media family. Be sure to check out our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate this show 5 stars on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Life with Ann Harder. This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.